Hi guys, welcome to another video, LEETCODE 10 regular expression matching. Now this is a question that gave me a bit of a headache, but I think I understand how to do it fully now, so I can make this video. So I'm going to take you through this question from scratch to make sure you fully understand, and I'll give you some examples. And we'll just use the examples here because this one very sufficiently covers what we need. Okay, maybe not, but like anyways. So the first one, first of all, I think we're going to use dynamic programming to solve this question. So we're going to build up a DP array and it's going to look something like this. Initially it's going to be true like this. Basically this represents an empty S string and empty P string, but we're going to build it up over time. So eventually what we're going to have is we're going to have another one false, because okay, so for the basically the vertical column is going to represent the S indices, and then basically the P indexes are going to be represented by the horizontal column. So I'll give you an example. Let's start with an example that is not in the test case, that is going to be A. Okay, so initially if you match P, both P and S are the same. So this is false because this is empty P string, AA P string with an empty S string, and this is a AA S string with an empty P string. So they are going to return false. This is for A and empty P, A and empty S, and it's going to be false. Now for this, you're going to compare A and A, right? So imagine it's just like this, right? A and A, right? So what's going to happen is, you know that, oh, it's matching. Sorry. So what we're going to be able to do in this case is find the diagonally behind or the diagonally backward value and just reuse that value. It's also possible, if P is a question mark, to do the same exact thing, just reuse the question value backwards. If not, default you can just put it as false. If it was a B, you can just set it as a false. So that covers sort of the first case, right? Now let's just say it was A, and now it's true, right? And now we're gonna check AA and AA. So now we're here, and now we're comparing AA with A. Oh wait. Sorry, you are comparing A with AA. This is S, by the way, and then this is P, right? Now we're comparing A with AA. So default, we just set it as false first. Then we check this position as well as the corresponding position, if it is equal, and it is in this case. So we just change this to this value here, which is false. Okay. Because basically it's equal at this position, but like the preceding position also needs to have been true. But basically, because it is equal at this position, you just use back the diagonally behind one, so you don't set it actually to true. Now we're here. Remember, initially we set to false, and right now we're comparing A with AA, and again you can use back, so it's still false. Now we're comparing AA with AA finally, and we're gonna set it to true because, okay, initially false, but because this and this are equal, now we can set this to true. Now if you make this a question mark, you can set this to you will also be able to set this to the diagonal backwards of it. So you can see that having a matching character and using question marks is about the same. Now let's use this case. Okay, and what we're going to first do is, okay, let's remove this and remove this. Now we have to remove this as well, because okay, for S, no change, is the same, right, with empty string. For P, okay, A and empty string, yep, it's false. But when you put an asterisk, it's actually a bit different. Why? Because asterisks can mean that A can match 0 or more of the preceding element, right? Because you can repeat A either 0 times or 1 time. So in actual fact, this one will check if it's this. It checks if the dp0 2 positions before is true, and if it is, then we set it to true. That's for the initial string. Okay, then now moving forward, we're comparing again A with A. So initially it's false, but because A and A is equal, so we set this to true. Okay, then now we're gonna compare here. Alright, so now we're still at A, and now we're gonna compare asterisk. So asterisk is kind of interesting, right? First thing we should do is we should check if the preceding element is equal to this, and now it is equal. So what we should do then is exclude the preceding element, because you know it's equal, and check the empty version of it with this full string. So where would that be? So remember, this full string, which means this index stays the same, but the preceding element, so it's top, so it's with the top, and if that is true, we can set this to true. Either that, or we can subsume this to 0 but keep the same S position. Alright, so we can check if what will happen here when keep the same S position. So we keep the level at this, but we reduce this to an empty string. So in this case, it's a false, right? Because A does not match with an empty string, right? It matches with A star though. However, an empty string does match with A star, which is here, right? Empty S A star, which is also true, right? So true or false means true, right? If something is true or false, it's true. If it's true and false, it's false. Okay, so now we move on to here. Okay, false is already done, so we are here now. So what we're comparing with is A, and A. Again, because it's true, initially we set false. Because it's true, we use back this. So now this is a still false because it's the same. Now we're here, A and A star. So what we're comparing is A and star. Now they're not equal, but because this is equals to star, we do the same two conditions that we spoke about just now. Condition 1 is we compare the first character before the star to this final character, and if it is true, then we can go on and compare this and minus this string, minus this character, because you know that you can just match with this preceding one with this whole string. So we reduce S by 1, but we keep the same P string. So here, so it's true. Or we can subsume this to 0, which means we reduce the P string by 2, but we keep the same S string. So we keep the same S string but reduce P string by 2, so in this case it's false as well, right? Because if you reduce this to empty string, it's matched with AA, but it's not correct, right? But so in this case it's false, and true or false equals to true, so therefore this is true. Now let's go to AB. Again, I'm gonna remove this, and we're gonna start from here, right? Okay, so AB is the same, true, false, false. Dot compared with empty string is false, but asterisk, remember, for the first step we can check 2 before where it is, and if it is true, this can be an empty string, and if this was an empty string, right, then this is true. Now let's start from here, whereby we have A and dot, right? Okay, I'm just going to put this in quotation marks to make it a little clearer. And basically, since initially we put false, but basically because it's equal, you can use the diagonal backwards of it. So this is true. I spent almost 10 minutes just going through the intuition because it's quite difficult. Next, we're going to increase P to star. Now remember, we can either subsume this to 0 or compare the first character. Now it is correct. So now what we do is we compare it with the empty string, so we reduce it by 1, but we keep the same P string, so it is true in this case, right? So either that, or we make this 0, but we keep the same S string. So S is the same level, P reduces by 1, so it's true. Am I correct? P reduces by 2, true false, because we're comparing with here, my bad. So this one becomes an empty string, so it's false. True or false means true. Okay, next we compare with AB, because we are incrementing with that, and just this dot here. So it is equal, so initially false, but because it's equal, so we use back, but it's still false. Now we're here with a dot, with an asterisk, So what we can do in this case, again, we compare this with this, so it is accurate. Okay, this dot matches with B. So now we can then do the other check, which is matching the string before B, which is just A, with this string. So this is reducing S by 1, which is here, and keeping the same P, which is true. Or we can subsume this to 0, which means that we're going to be here. We're going to move P 2 characters back to false, but we keep the same S. True or false equals to true. So that's basically the intuition. I spent 11 minutes going through 2 examples, and I hope that illustrated it better. So now we're gonna code it up real quick. So again, empty string, so we're gonna start 2 empty strings is true. So now we're gonna loop through S, and basically S will add dp.push false. Okay, then now we're gonna loop through P, and basically if P at position I equals to a asterisk, then what we're going to do is we're going to check if, and actually we can just write it here. dp, hang on one second, let me think. 0 and I minus 1. Okay, so why is it I minus 1 and not I minus 2? Because we're actually adding it in at the I plus 1 position, because we're starting with true already. Okay, so then what we can push in this case is true, else we'll just push a false. Okay, great. So let's be a little bit careful and just check it quickly. Wait, what language are we in? Terminate call after three instance of bad allocation. Not really sure what's going on. Wait. Let's try it without the... Oh, sorry. Okay. So true, false. No, this is not correct. DP0. Yep, we're running some very bad syntax errors. And this video is long. Okay, that is correct. So now let's do the double for loop to build up the DP array. Yeah, I'm really rushing here because this video is getting really long. So first thing we need to do is set the I plus 1, j plus 1 positions to false. And then next we check if S at position I equals to P at position J, or P at position J equals to a dot. Alright, and in this case then dpij equals to dpi plus 1, j plus 1 can be equals to ij. Yep, that's pretty much correct. Else if it's an asterisk, hang on. So if it's an asterisk, and you're gonna basically check if the pj minus 1 equals to si, match equals to true, else first match equals to false. So basically in this example, if we have an asterisk with let's say A or A, doesn't matter. We are gonna take out that last character, so making it either A or empty space, and checking that new string with A star. And well, it's basically going to have been a cached value. So if it is equal, then first match is true. Then dp I plus 1 j plus 1 will equal to first match. And what I just said, the checking that we're going to do, whereby you take out the last character, which is going to be dp, since you're taking out the last character of s, I and j plus 1. Either that, or you can keep the same s string, but you reduce the current p string by 2 characters, so it's j minus 1. So it's either this or this. And now let's console.log the dp to make sure that we're building up the correct dp before we submit the question. So it should be false. In this case, the last one is false. Case 2, true, and it should be true. 3, true, no, false. Wait, it is expected is true and we got a false. That's not correct. Hang on a second. Okay, true, false, true. Okay, then we come here and it should be either this yeah, this false is correct, and then false is also correct. But for this, no wait, this should be true though. Hang on. So asterisk and dot, dot matches with A, so first match should be true. Let me just check. pj, si, pj, okay. pj minus 1, which is in this case dot, it's equal to I forgot. Let's try again. And now this is returning the correct solution and looking pretty correct as well. So we just return dp s.length p.length. Okay, so that is the solution for this question. Took me about 7.5 minutes to type it out, and I still made some careless errors until I debugged it. So guys, keep trying. Eventually you'll get it done. Thank you.